Et salut à tous, c'est Navo et bienvenue pour la suite de Stanley Parable, enfin la suite, pour une autre fin du coup qu'on va pouvoir débloquer. Et voilà, ça charge.
This is the story.
Ah, du coup on peut skip. Voilà, on a skip. Alors, du coup,
All of his co-workers were gone. What
on
could it be?
retourne au
Stanley
choix de
decided
la
to go to the meeting
porte.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
C'était par là ou pas? Sûrement. Voilà. Et cette fois, on va bien suivre
When
ce qu'il nous
Stanley
dit.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Eh ben, très bien. Allons à gauche. Je t'écoute, cher narrateur. Cette fois-ci. Tadam, 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 tadam.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
Ils vont
hoping he
tous
might find
abandonner.
an answer there.
C'est quoi ce délire? Mais c'est en haut ou c'est en bas?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ok. Du coup, je pense qu'on peut aller en bas faire des trucs et tout, mais cette fois, on va bien l'écouter. On va voir tout ce qu'il nous dit et tout. On va faire les gentils. C'est ici le bureau de... Ah, ça doit être là.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
En fait, on m'a pas dit que
Shocked,
c'était jour férié aujourd'hui.
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his
Digicode derrière
boss
le
had
bureau.
been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it
Ah oui.
an extra secret pin
2,
number.
8, 4, 5.
2845.
2,
But of course,
8,
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on
Oh,
the
mon
keypad,
Dieu.
Stanley happened to
On l'a
input
trouvé
the
tout seul,
correct
dis donc.
code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into
Amazing.
the newly opened passageway.
Mais il est où le passage? Attendez, il y a un passage qui... Ah putain, un passage qui est énorme, mais non, mais je le vois pas. Il est où le passage? Ouais. Où sommes-nous? Ouh, fait peur quoi. Ça n'est parabole devient un jeu d'horreur. Loading, 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 loading.
Descending
Vache,
deeper into
c'est
the
long à chaque fois.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a
Sentait
stirring of
étrange.
emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to
Quand
question
tu parles,
the
j'écoute tout ce qu'il dit depuis tout à l'heure, le narrateur.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would
libre.
not go unanswered for long.
On va découvrir la vérité. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? On m'a contrôlé toute ma vie en
Stanley
fait.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Centre
Mind
de
Control
contrôle
Facility.
mental. Oh là là, il y a des lavages de cerveau. Ah, on peut s'escape par là.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was, but of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to
Non,
live
on
for.
va l'écouter pour celui-là. On va l'écouter. Et je pense qu'il y a vraiment beaucoup de fins du coup. On est où là? Lumière.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah oui, j'ai le courage. I did it.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Violet.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so
Mon
many
Dieu.
individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Qu'est-ce que je fais du coup? Je continue. On est surveillés. Nous sommes que des patients.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been
Ça brille un peu.
manipulated to accept it blindly?
Mon Dieu. Mais c'est horrible. On est
No,
contrôlé depuis le début.
he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His
Jamais.
own life in someone
Ma vie
else's
est trop
control?
mémore.
Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
D'ailleurs, parce qu'il
Had he truly spent his entire life
il fait
utterly
bien ressortir de
blind
l'émotion,
to the
le narrateur,
world?
quoi. Quand il parle, c'est assez énorme.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled
Facility
with
power.
emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this
On va détruire la
machine would
machine.
never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Console, 17 période.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oui, il a vu heureux, machin et tout, j'ai pas vu moi. Offline. Je peux pas appuyer sur le bouton là. Il y a un gros bouton rouge, je vais appuyer dessus. Ah 5. Qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Rien du tout. Vous imaginez en fait c'est quelqu'un qui contrôle toute votre vie et tout.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Ok. On coupe tout. C'est ma vie, ma liberté, mon destin. Là, il n'y a plus rien. On va être libre du coup.
Blackness and a rising chill of
Ah merde.
uncertainty.
J'espère que ça va finir mieux que la première fois.
Yes, he had won. He had
C'est quoi ça?
defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments
Le monde est
away.
réel.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Bah
How
ouais.
had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized
Ouais, mais
none
nous
of
on va le
this
savoir
mattered
dans
to
une
him,
autre fin.
for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking.
Je veux être ignorant et
Perhaps his
heureux.
goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life
c'est
he
beau.
lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Et là, on retourne en arrière. Ah, oh. D'accord.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon
Ah,
his
je contrôle plus rien.
skin, the feeling of liberation, the
Les
immense
immenses
possibility
prairies,
of
on va
the
pouvoir
new path
devenir
before
jardinier.
him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Et Stanley était heureux. Voilà, je crois que c'est bon, je crois qu'on a déjà déverrouillé à la deuxième fin. Ah, c'est ça. Beat the game. Succès déverrouillé. Et là, on recommence du début. C'est ça, hein? Attendez, je vérifie.
All of his co-workers were
Ouais, c'est
gone.
ça.
What could it
Donc, bah
mean?
voilà.
Stanley
Donc, bah,
decided to go to the meeting.
Oula, j'ai fait péter un câble au jeu. Du coup, cette fin aura été très courte. Donc voilà, deuxième fin débloquée. On est libre. On ne sait rien, du coup, toutes ces questions sans réponse, mais on est content, voilà, donc ça nous suffit. Voilà, donc on verra la suite, la prochaine fois, on va faire une histoire, une vidéo, moi je trouve que c'est bien. Il y en aura sûrement des plus longues, bon, celle-ci, ça doit être une des plus courtes, je suppose. J'espère que cet épisode vous a plu, n'hésitez pas à la partager, à la commenter, à la liker, et à vous abonner si c'est pas encore fait, je vous fais des gros bisous. Je vous donne rendez-vous à la prochaine pour la suite aux aventures. Bye bye. Non. J'ai pas l'impression que je puisse sauter dessus, hein. Comment je fais pour passer du coup? Ah ok, d'accord.